Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. Now we're done with the text or string functions. Now we're going to be, dealing with date and time functions, which are again similar to your SQL date and time functions. If you know SQL date and time functions, which are again similar to that, it is no special except one or two functions here and there. And let me tell you these functions. So one more thing we need to understand why new table we have to create, because when you open Power BI, so this is very, very interesting and important topic, guys. Compulsorily, two or three questions are going to be coming from today's topic. So I'm going to be getting the Adventure Works data. I wanted to use customer table, products table, sales table, load the data. What is the issues with the data? I will tell you, because many people think that there is no issue with the data. Every data is a cleaned data. That is fine. This is also cleaned data. But even though it is a cleaned data, a lot of data is still missing in this. What is that it is missing? And why is that we need to create some more tables? When you go here, when you click on this table, when you go, and you will be able to find out, we discussed about how to use new measure, at least some calculations we have done it, right? So new column also we have implemented. We will see a lot of other examples in the coming classes, because new measure is very, very important. It is going to be only stored in the formula. No space is required. That is what I told you. You remember this, and it is not a not static value. That is also I have told you. It does not take any space, and it is going to be storing the formula. If you wanted to write complex aggregations, that is when we're going to be using, we will create a lot of new measures with the time intelligence functions. Very, very important and very, very easy intelligence functions. For example, I wanted to get parallel period sales. What is the meaning? I would like to get January 2021 sales. I wanted to get it. And the previous parallel period means January 2020 sales also I wanted to get it. Again, January 2022 sales also I wanted to get it. If I take one value, parallel periods data, sales also I wanted to get it. So all these things are available within the time intelligence functions. Or you wanted to get the YTD value, MTD value, QTD value, compulsory interval equations, all these things we'll discuss. What is YTD, what is MTD, what is the QTD, all of them will, WTD, all of them we will be able to discuss based on the time intelligence functions. Okay, now we have a new measure. So to write the complex aggregations of the formulas, so quick measure we should not use. We'll talk about quick measure later. Okay, we should not use this. And a quick measure means instead of you writing the code, Power BI itself is going to be writing the code. That is what is called quick measure. So instead of you doing something, so Power BI automatically is going to be writing the code. So that is where you don't understand what it is doing, how it is implementing. You don't understand. If someone else is doing for you, then do you understand these functions? Do you remember all these functions? You don't remember, because quick measure is nothing but a ready-made implementation of DAX queries. So that is the reason we should not use. But I will give you one example at the end so that you will understand, right? Now, new column also we have implemented to derive the tax from the employee's salary, to derive salary plus bonus as a net salary, where we are going to be using. But now tell me, where exactly we are going to be using a new table. So I will explain today, why the new table concept is important, why you need to create a new table, even though the customer is giving you tables, and what kind of a tables you still create and you would use them. I will tell you. So, okay. So now the first question we need to understand, this is my customer data. Now I have how many rows are available? 18,000 plus rows are available. Let me click on the products data. So let me just click on this. I have 379 rows are available. Let me click on the sales data. Now you see lot of data is available, but you observe date and time data, order date, due date, ship date. You have only these columns, order date, due date, and ship date. And you have any other, date and time columns? Now, apart from that, we just observe there is no other data. Let me just go and transform this data. Okay. You can go to choose columns. You will understand. In this table, customer name, geography name, birth date, you have marital status. You have one birth date column is available in this. And when you go to products table, you don't have any choose columns, means you don't have any date and time columns. Let me go to sales table. You will be able to understand clearly. Product key, order date, due date, ship date. Apart from that, you don't have any other date and time columns. These are the three date and time columns: order date, ship date, and due date. Shipping means when is it got shipped or couriered. When you order the product, it is going to be shipped on the same day, or it is going to be shipped after 1 or 2 days. Clear? So that the ship date will be there. Ship date will be equivalent to order date, or it is more than the order date, right? That is what is called ship date. So we have only these columns, but let me tell you what is the issue with this data. I told you, right? So every data is cleaned data, but now I'm telling you it is having some issues. What is the issue? I'll tell you. So the issue in this column, you take order date or the due date or the ship date. Now you have the value, the sales, the first sales is happened in the, what is the first sales has happened? It is not the first date, I think. Let me sort this in ascending order. So the first sales is happened in the 1st July 2005. Again on the same day, 1st July 2005. Like that same data is going to be happening, right? The second sales is started second day. Like that, you are able to see a lot of duplicated data. Have you seen duplicated? Because same day, a lot of transactions are going to be happening on 01 July means 07 in 2005. Lot of people bought the items. You will be able to see the lot of duplicate entries. A lot of duplicate entries you can see, because 01, 01, 02, 02, 02, 02, 03, 03. So a lot of transactions have happened. 04, 5, 5, 5, 5, like that. So what is the problem here? The problem here is that the data is not unique, because it is going to be one-to-many relationship. Many means, when you take a date, if you take one date, for example, 1/1/2005. Okay, this is one date. And on this date, you can take order date. Okay, order date. So many transactions can happen. This date, you can have multiple places. You will be able to get, if it is a primary key table, if it is a foreign key table, this value will get repeated multiple times. Forget about this primary key and foreign key. This table is available where you have the multiple values are repeated. Let me just go there and show you one more issue with this. So 6th, 7, 8, 9, 10 continues, 11, 12, now 13, 14, 16, 19, 20. Lot of, sales is happening. So there is no problem at all. You have the date. Clear? Now I wanted to also show you you will have gaps in between. So you have a first sales and second may not be having any sales. Clear? So you have the continuous sales are available now here. There's no problem. Let me just remove this. So one, you have a duplicate data. Second one, I wanted to clear sorting. When you see the data here, you understand 7th, 7th, 8th, 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 9th, then 10th, there is no sales, 11th, there is no sales, 12th, there is no sales, 13th, there is no sales. Then the next sales is happened 15th of August. Then 16th, there is no sales. Then 17th sales, 18, 19, 19, 20. Again at 21, there is no sales. Have you seen this data? 21, there is no sales. 22nd of August 2007, there is no sales. 23rd, again 24, 25, 26, again 27. 27 sales. So what is that I'm trying to tell you? You have some date column, order date. In that you have a lot of duplicated data. That is one thing I'm telling you. The second thing I'm telling you, these numbers are not in continuous numbers because some days you may not have the sales. Okay. If you don't have the sales, what is the problem? If I have the duplicated data, what is the problem? You may ask me the question. Now the problems I will tell you. Okay. I will tell you the problems. What is that you cannot achieve when you have the date data like this. Okay, so many people are buying on the same day, 01, let us say July 2005. Same data is duplicated multiple times. There is no issue. I wanted to know, for example, on day, there is a sales called $10, $20, or let us say $5. Okay, then the next sales is going to be happening on the second day. The sales will be $4. Let me have the sales will be another $5. Now, the next day sales is not available. The third is not available. Then you have 5, right? So now in the 5, the sales, let us say $12. Now you have the sales like this. Okay. Let us say $22. I have some data. Now, I wanted to find out, I wanted to summarize the sales. I would like to create a summary based on the data, summarize. So what is that I would like to summarize? I wanted to take the order date. Now I wanted to have, so order date wise. So what is the order date 1? So 1, what is the total, sum I can have? 10 plus 20, 30, 30 plus 5, 35 I can have. $35 is the sales. So I will be able to create a, sales like this. I can create a summary like this. The next sales is happened on this one, but you have 2 dates. You need two dates means 4 plus 5, it will be 9. Okay. The next sales is happened on the 5th. Now I wanted to go, and there are 2 entries, 12 plus 22. How much it will be? It will be 34. Clear? You will be able to get one summary. There is no problem also, no issues also. Now, let me tell you one issue. What is the issue? The issue, if customer wanted to know, I wanted to get the summary report. Okay, summary report you wanted to get it. So that is this report only. There is no other report. But he wanted to also have the previous day sales. So this is the current sales. Okay, current sales he wanted to have in this. And he wanted to implement one more sales. What is the previous day sales? Okay, previous day sales. So that is also he wanted to have. So what is the previous day for this? There is no previous day. You will be able to get some blank, or you will be able to get null. So for this one, what is the previous day? The previous day will be 35. I would like to have the 35 here. So when I have the previous day sales, I wanted to understand previous day is 35. Now today is 9. I wanted to find out the difference also. I would like to have find out the difference. 35 today, now whether it is increased or decreased, it is completely decreased. 35 minus previous day sales minus today's sales, current day sales. So 35 minus 9 means it will be how much? So how much it is? Is 26, right? Or 27. So 27 is the minus value. It is 26, right? 26 is the minus value. It is, they lost the business. Like that, I wanted to have this is the current sales, and the previous sales is what? Previous sales is 9, right? That is what you write. When you write like that, is it correct? What is the previous day? Previous day is, previous day is 3rd, but actually, previous day is 4th. But 4th, there is no sales in the table. Because of that, this data is not going to come. You will be able to get 1, 2 is fine. But in that, you will not be able to get the data where the sales is not happening. So sales, there is no sales for this table. The sales is 03, there is no sales. And 04 also, there is no sales. If you don't have these 2 entries, the sales is not at all there. The sales is completely a zero, right? Because that day the shop is closed. That day the shop is closed or sales is not at all happened, whatever it is. Now forget about this one. Now, if you don't have the continuous values, what is the problem? You will not be able to go to the previous day sales, because if this data is missing in this, if the data is missing, what is at the previous day? Previous day will be fourth, but do you have the fourth data here? You don't have the fourth data. Why fourth data is not available in this table? Because this is how you are able to get the orders. You cannot guarantee that all the day you have the sales. Sometimes you don't have any sales in the shop also. You don't have the continuous values. You can see first, second, and fifth, but you don't have the sales on the third and the fourth. Now the customer wanted to have current day sales and the previous day sales also wanted to display. But if you take your order data table, your order data table is having a duplicate data. So duplicate data, somehow we can summarize and get the data. But what is missing in this? Continuous values are not there. Okay, I wanted to have no duplicate data. So then only I can get the today's data minus yesterday's data, I can get it. So previous day sales, I can get it. But the problem is some days the sales is not available. If you take the order date column and try to create this kind of a reports, you will not be able to create this kind of a reports. You will fail. You'll go mad. You'll go mad. You don't know what to do. For example, I wanted to have 2020 sales, right? And 2021 sales and 2022 sales. For example, if it is $100 billion and $200 billion, it is $220 billion. I have some data like this. If I have data, then I can understand what is the current year sales, and the previous years is nothing. So what is the current year? 200. Previous years is 100. Now I can see the variance is 100% growth. I can easily get it, right? Why? Because it is continuous. 20, 20, 21, 22. Now 20 in this year. What is the previous year? Previous year is 200. Now you will be able to get what is the variance? Variance is plus 20%. You will be able to say it is a positive growth, but definitely the growth is came down, but still positive. Like that, you will be able to understand. But if I have a 2019 data, then if I have 2022 data, then I have 2023 data. I have like that. I wanted to understand current year sales minus previous year sales. Now, what is the previous year for this? Is it 2019? No, it is 2020, but where is the data available here? The data is not available. Why it is not available? Because no sales has happened on that day. The order date table will not have the dates because no sales. COVID is there in 2020. The shops are completely closed. So no sales at all. So there is no sales. But I wanted to create a report in that I wanted to mention year by year. I would like to, get the previous year sales minus current year sales. This kind of a formula I wanted to implement. So this order date column you cannot take and use because it is not guaranteed that you will have continuous sales. Right? If the continuous sales is not available, now definitely you will not be able to achieve this kind of a summary reports. You cannot create as part of Power BI or as part of your data warehousing or as part of your any data analytical programming. Compulsorily you are going to be dealing with a lot of date and time queries. One of the query I told you. So what is the query I told you? Previous day sales minus current day sales. I would like to have the difference. So this is what compulsory in an interview question. How do you show this kind of a data if you don't have the continuous values in the table? Right? So you don't know what to do. So to implement a solution, because you need to have one table, because this column you cannot use at all. You cannot use at all because it is not guaranteed that you will have no duplicate data, because duplicate data is there for the summary. You need to sum all the data. The second one, you should not have the, blank values or the pending or gaps in between. So this table cannot guarantee that you will have those kind of a data. So when you don't have like this order date column, or you can take ship date column, any column where you will not be able to use this table to create this kind of a formulas. You need to have one date column where you have to have the no duplicate data. You need to have one date column where the duplicate data should not be there. No duplicate data has to be there. And continuous data has to be there. Continue values have to be there. For example, you have started business 01 July and 2005, you have started your business. So this is the starting day in that table. You need to create one dim date table. It has to have continuous data starting from the day 1, 01, 02 July, 03, 04, continuous values will be there so that I can use this table to link with the order date table and perform all these operations. 01, there is a sales you will be able to get. 02, there is a sales you will get some values. But 03, there is a sales, at least you will be able to get the 0. At least you will be able to get the 0 because on this day, there is no sales happen. So at least you have the date here, but the sales is not happened on the day. So you will compare 01 to 01 and you will get the sales amount. You will put the date. Clear? So I wanted to create one table, or I would like to create one column where you need to have continuous values. So that is the reason these tables are not sufficient to analyze your data. Most of the time we are going to be analyzing the data based on the time. So order date or the ship date. So these columns are used heavily. We are going to be performing data analytics based on this data. Clear? But if I wanted to use order date column or the due date column or the ship date column, what is the issue? The dates are not continuous. The dates are having duplicated data. If I wanted to create this kind of reports, these tables will not are not having the good data. This is the issue with the current data. So in order to create this kind of summary reports, these tables cannot be used. You need to create one more table. The table name is called dim date table or date table you need to include. Clear? As I told you, one more thing also. So this is one report you cannot create. Summary report I'm talking about, that you will not be create. So this you cannot, okay, cannot be done with the data. So second one I told you, what is it you cannot create? I would like to write last 5 years, Ramadan sales, I wanted to get it. So with the order date, only with the order date table, you will not be able to get last 5 years Ramzan sales. That is impossible. So in order to get the sales also, you have to create a dim date table. Clear? I wanted to find out last 3 years Diwali sales. Okay, Diwali sales in Adventure Works in India. I would like to get it. So this kind of a data, if you wanted to get it compulsorily, you need to have one more table in your data analytics. So where is that? Analytics is going to be happening. Analytics is going to be happening on the data warehousing side. So when you open any data warehouse, so large amount of data will be available in which database? Data warehousing database. Let me open SSMS SQL Server. You take any data warehousing database, you will be able to find out compulsorily one dim data table in your data warehouse, because data warehouse data is for the reading purpose. Reading purpose means data analysis purpose. We don't use OLTP data for the data analytics, right? So data analytics means maximum time we are going to be using OLAP data. OLAP data means what? Historical data, large amount of data, last 5-10 years of company's data can be used to perform the data analytics. So OLAP data. So OLAP means data warehousing data. You take any data warehousing, whether you create a data warehouse database, I create a data warehouse database, forget about it. So there will be a compulsorily, for example, Adventure Works is the OLTP database. You create a reports, but you don't analyze the reports. You may analyze for 1 or 2 months data, 6 months data, because after 6 months, OLTP data will be dumped onto OLAP. So you always analyze which kind of a data. Data analytics is going to be done on the data warehouse only. Clear? So real-time analytics means the current data, if you wanted to analyze, normally we are going to be using this, but 90% of the time we are going to be analyzing the data warehousing data. Compulsorily, there will be a table called a dim data table. Otherwise, you will not be able to you will not be able to do all these summary reports, last Diwali sales, last 5 years Christmas sales, Thanksgiving Day sales. This kind of reports cannot be achieved, whether you know or you don't know. You also, watch my data warehousing videos. I clearly spoken about why dim date table has to be there. If the dim date table is not there, you will not be able to get last 5 years of Diwali sales, Christmas sales, and the reports also will become very, very slow. And lot of, summary reports also will not be able to create based on the date and time factors. Okay. So wherever you see, you will be able to get one table. In this table, you have one date column, one primary key column will be there. Then you have a, date column. So how the table is going to be there? Table compulsorily, one dim date table has to be there. In the dim date table, what is the column you need to have? Compulsorily, one date key will be there. This is a primary key. One date will be there. So that's it. So for example, 1. So when is it started? 01 July and 2005. Like that. It is going to be having the continuous data. These two columns are compulsorily 2. And the second date is like this. Continuously, it is going to be having till today's data. What is today's date? It will be some 10,000 rows. Today is what? So this one, right? So you can say December and 2022 data will be available. Right. So 2023 data will be available in the table. So when is the business started? Business started in this day. Continuous values are going to be there in this table. Right. Now you have to take this column. You need to take this column and you need to link with the sales table. Now you have a sales table. In the sales table, lot of things are customer key. You have product key, you have order date, right? So when you have order date, so order date and a date is going to be mapped. When you have mapping order date and this date, when there is a sales for the one and one will get mapped and for remaining data. So this will be by default going to be performing left outer join in Power BI. Left join means compulsorily matching data. So there is a 1 is there. So for a 2, there is no sales on the 2, but still it is going to be getting the matching data. So this will become unmatched data. The sales will be, you will be able to get. So order date, all the dates will come wherever the sales matching entries are there, they will get the sales amount, let us 10, 20, blah, blah, blah. But wherever there is no sales, you will be able to get the null. Null means a 0. You can replace with a 0 so that you will have continuous numbers will be there. So that whenever you wanted to deal with the previous day sales, current day sales, even though the order dates are missing here the dates will not miss because we are going to be populating the data with the continuous values and no duplicate data. So duplicate data may be here, but duplicate data will not come. So when you, when you perform the left join data, all the matching data will come and unmatched data. For example, on this day, there is no sales, that data also will get included so that you will be able to find out all the numbers. For example, there is a sales and in between you got this data, right? So you will be able to get a 3 also, and it will be completely 0 because no sales on that day. Previous day sales is second, previous day sales is 9. So that you will be able to get -9. The next sales also you will be able to get with the 0. Now previous day sales is 0. Today's sales is also 0. So 0 -0, you will be able to get the 0. So when you have, even though no sales has happened, that data is available in this dim date table. When you perform dim data table to sales table, and when you join the data, get the data, by default, Power BI is going to be performing what operations? Left join. Left join means wherever the foreign key is there, this will become a primary key table because it is unique data, right? So dim date table will have a primary key value. This is a 1 to many relationship because order date will have multiple duplicate values, right? So it will become 1 to many. So many table will be the left table, and you will be able to get the left dim date table to, sales table will be joining left. So left means like this. So it will be get all the data from these both tables. Which table will be the first table? So dim date table will be the sales table as S, left join, and a dim date as, let us say, D as, based on some multiple conditions. All the matching data will come sales table to this table, and this is where you're going to be having many dates, right? So multiple tables, but dim date where you have one, date will be only once, because it is not having any duplicate data. So wherever the M table is available, the table will be the first table. So all the matching data will come. Unmatched data means where the sales is not there, it is going to be, taking those tables, and it is going to be including that one as well. Clear? So that is what you got to understand, and it is going to be giving all the data. Am I clear, guys? So why we have to create a new table means whatever were the tables that has been given to you, it is not at all, sufficient to create a lot of summary reports. Clear? Now you have to create a new table. To create a new table, so there is a lot of date and time functions are available. So year, quarter, month, week, number, day, end of the month, date and time, calendar, auto, date, format, right? We have today now. So I am going to be using a function called calendar. So this calendar function is going to be creating a date. Clear? So you need to supply starting date, you need to supply ending date. You be using these two dates, it is going to be creating a date column. So in the date column, no duplicates. Date should be there, no duplicates, and it must be unique, and no gaps, continuous values have to be there. So that kind of a thing will be created. I don't have any dim date table. So if you have the dim date table, you can directly load. But if you don't have a dim date table, you have to create on your own in the Power BI. So in the SQL, as I told you, there is a dim date table here. When there is a dim date table, why is that you would like to create? You don't create because this table you can use it. So if you go to any data warehousing, let me show you this data warehouse. Let me show you the table, even though it is going to be having only few tables, but one of the table is called a dim date table or a dim time table. So without a dim date or dim time table, you will not be able to get the data. Compulsorily, you will have, date column and the key column. Remaining things are, that is not important, but if you wanted to have, you can have that. So compulsorily, any data warehouse, when you see, you will be able to find compulsorily one dim date table. If it is there, you load this table data directly from data warehouse to this one. Or if you have the data in the Excel sheet, load it to Power BI. But if it is not there, now you should be able to create. You should be able to create. How can we create? There is a date and time function called calendar. You need to give the start date and when is that you would like to stop the dates. I would like to stop till 2020 or 2023. So based on that, it is going to be creating a calendar auto. So I will create one table now. So how to create? You have to click on this and click on new table. So I would like to create a table name. What is the table name? Table name I wanted to have. So dim date or date table. Okay. So with the help of what function? Calendar. Okay. Calendar function I'm going to be taking. I need to supply start date and end date. Start date I'm going to be giving. Let me give 2005 onwards data is there, right? And 01. 2005 comma 01 comma 01. Okay, this is what is called the start date. Now I'm going to be using one function here, one function called format function. So if you supply only the numbers, comma, number, what is it? It is a number. But when I say not format, I'm going to be using a date, not format. I'm going to be using data function. This data function is going to be taking these numbers and it is going to be creating a date format. It is saying it is a date. Okay. It will take the number. For example, if I write 17, what is 17? What is 12? What is 2005? You don't know. If you write and you say these, you frame it as a date. When I say date, this will become a date. Clear? So I'm going to be using a date. I will give comma separated values. It is going to be framing as a date. So here also I will give you comma separated values. This will be converted into date. I'm going to be using a date function. So give some numbers. It will frame as a date. That's it. Nothing. It'll convert as a date. I'm going to be giving using a date, and date function is going to be taking this number year, month, day. In this format only you need to supply, and the comma, this is a starting number, again a date. Now year till 2023. Okay, comma, December month 31st. I would like to create one table. Have you seen? The table is created, a dim date table. Now the column is called date column. Continuous dates will be there. Now you can understand how many rows are available. 6,000. Okay. 939 rows are available. Continuous rows, you will be able to see it. Continuous data, you will be able to see it. This is how, with the help of a calendar function, you will be able to create a new table. Clear? You will be able to create a new table. And this table I can use and to create lot of other summaries, and I want to do lot of other things. This column is not sufficient. I have to say whether this date comes under Ramzan or not. I need to create a lot of other columns here. Okay. So one column will say whether it is a Ramzan day, whether it is a Diwali day, whether it is a weekend, whether it is a weekday, whether it is a holiday in India, holiday in Europe. Lot of things I would like to mention, so that using this table, by default, you will get only one column. Lot of other columns we need to create, and we can use this functions. Once you create this table, it is mandatory that you have to do the data modeling. Go and this table. So where is the table? You have only this table with one column. Remaining columns also will create on Monday's class, and will implement. Where is this dim date table available? This dim date table you have to join with sales table. So data modeling is important. You will take the order date, and you're going to be performing these operations, right? One to many operation will get created. Now like that, you will be able to create. So order date to this date, and you will be able to have ship date to this date. Clear? And you will have a due date also can be used. So like that, you will be able to create, and you will be able to drag and drop this date. This has continuous values. With the help of this, you will be able to perform all the summary. And last 5 years Ramzan says blah blah blah, everything you will be able to derive, because we need to include lot many columns in this. What columns we need to include, how to include, how to get the reports, we'll discuss on the Monday's class. And why we have to use calendar, because sometimes you have to create some tables, because all the tables are not available, especially dim date table. But what is the best one? So creating a table using a DAX. This is a DAX, a formula I have written. This is a DAX function I have written, right? So creating using a DAX is good. Or you create one table and you load the data. When you observe, I have a table here already. Many times, I'm not loading this table, but I have a table. Have you seen this table? So already I have created a table. We are not loading this table compulsorily along with the customer data, products data, sales data. Your customer is going to be giving you this table, right? So if it is not there, then only you are going to be creating. The solution is you create the table in Excel, or you get the table from Google and export it, or if you have a data warehouse, get the data from there and export is always recommended, rather than creating your table using a DAX query. And after loading, you need to give the data modeling. So creating a table using a DAX query is not the best option. But if you don't have any a table available in the source system, then only you need to come using a calendar. You should be able to create one column. Remaining columns we will be able to create on Monday's class. Clear? So any questions? So that is what is the discussion about calendar. Remaining functions also we'll discuss. And in this, I spoken about why we have to create new tables, and how to create new tables, and how to populate the dim date table data. And I've also discussed about which is the best solution, getting the data from Excel, dim date table I'm talking about, getting the data from Excel, or creating your own calendar table using a DAX query, which is recommended. Definitely, getting the data from the Excel or the data warehousing is 100% recommended than the creating this table using a DAX query. Chalo, we'll continue further and we'll see couple of things. Anything else you would like to ask?